What's going on, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today we're taking a look at a couple of newer knives that just come into the channel. While we're getting started, let us know down in the comments what your EDC is for today. So we have the Trivisa Hydra here. This is a unique design. It's based off of a traditional Japanese Higanikomi razor, and I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but I'll link it down below and you can head over and check it out for yourself. We are looking at a under $50 knife here in 10CR, equivalent to VG10, AUS10. Great user steels that are easy to maintain. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. We have a black wash PVD finish on that straight sheep's foot blade. We are looking at a front flipper for deployment, a button plunge lock there for our locking mechanism, steel liners with internal milling, black micarta for our handle material. We have a deep carry reversible clip that's surface mounted and the screws are recessed. Does come with a lanyard that many of you will enjoy the colors of, and just a very neutral design when it's open. You are dealing with that very elongated front flipper, and for people who enjoy front flippers or people who enjoy traditional Japanese knives, you are in luck because Trivisa does a bunch of them. Now, the front flipper works very, very well. You can get a ton on it, and because of how much sticks up above the top of the knife, you can clear it every single time and just get a lot of meat on that front flipper. Whether you want to do the over the top, the index rollover, or the thumb rollover, you'll be able to accomplish all of those very easily with this knife. And it maintains a nice and short and slimmer profile. Next up, we're taking a look at the Katuo and Carbon Knives Buckhorn. I want to show this one off here because I haven't had a chance to really check this one out. I've actually had this knife for months at this point, and I just haven't had a chance to get into it until very recently. This is the more premium Buckhorn. Katuo and Carbon put out two different versions, 14C in aluminum and then titanium and S35. This is the S35 with the mirror blast finish. Beautiful modified drop foot blade. We have dual thumb studs and a rear flipper tab for deployment. Really, really good detent. Love the steppings and the angle that these studs are at. They just work really, really well. We have contoured titanium handles here with a two-tone texture. We have these lines running up here in the center and this jig pattern on the top and bottom. Same on the lock side, and our titanium clip has some of that same texturing. Great access to the lock bar with a nice chamfer there. And then our milled tie clip goes with the flow of the design and also has some of that texturing. We have a lanyard hole that's incorporated into our full-length titanium backspacer. See the little carbon there on the back. I have been a huge fan of the Buckhorn ever since I got my hands on it. If you want a great EDC and utility style knife, the Buckhorn is a great option to take a look at. Next up, we're taking a look at the QSP Knives Turtle Punk, and the unboxing should be up for this by now when you're seeing this. Now, the Turtle Punk, this is also a design I had never heard of. Like the Hydra, it's just one I'd never seen before, and this knife has been ultra surprising. Not because QSP doesn't put out great knives, they do. It's just, I didn't know about this. I handled it, and I was like, man, the way this is angled, it fits my hand beautifully. You can kind of see it cradle in there and just fit to my hand very well. We have these textured G10 handles that have a almost like turtle shell top to them, and it gives it a cool look and a good feel in hand. We are looking at 14C28N, and it's got a beautiful finish on the blade. We are looking at a Tanto style, but both these edges have a slight belly to them. They're not completely straight, which is something that has been missing in the knife world lately. We've been getting a lot of Tantos, but they've all been straight. And I don't have any problems with straight edge Tantos. I like those, but I also like options. And this is providing a really nice option. We have a deep carry clip. It's recessed. The screws are kind of recessed pretty much. and we are looking at a reversible clip as well. This is a good size. It's got some heft to it. Massive standoffs here. Stop pins inside. Great access to the liner. Really, really solid action. The knife is fairly expensive for the materials, but we're looking at G Mascus. We're looking at kind of an extra flavor on the blade as far as the coating goes. It's not as simple as just saying, oh, it's 14C and G10 and it's $70. It's not that simple. You can't just lay everything out to materials all the time. It's just not the way that it works. And this is a solid feeling knife. For anyone who has one of these, they can speak up and let you know. But QSP already does a phenomenal job, and this knife just feels really, really well built, really solid, nice thick spine going to that tip, and definitely going to be able to handle any day-to-day tasks you could throw at it. Next up, we have the new premium Kaiser Mini Momo. And man, I hope these unboxings are already out. They should be. But we did an unboxing of this not long ago. It should be up. This one here has a mirror polished DLC S35VN drop point blade. Beautiful blade, beautiful finish. Great materials. We're looking at titanium for our bolsters here and the framing of the knife. And then we have this beautiful 80s camo carbon fiber on the top for our onlay, titanium backspacer, and a milled tie clip. Some people don't like the way that clip is. I have never had a single issue with the clip that comes on the Momo series. I think the budget mini Momo has a deep carry steel rollover clip, but even the original Momo and these, I've not had a single issue with, and I think it looks really clean in the pocket, especially with this one. You'll have a little bit of that knife or the scale poking out, and it just looks really good in the pocket. The action is incredibly good. Detent is beautiful. The front flipper, similar to the Hydra, is fairly exaggerated, not quite as bad as the Hydra is or quite as enlarged, but it works really well. If you do like front flippers, this one is also a good one to take a look at because you can do all the front flipper things your little heart desires, and it's going to be very, very satisfying. We did check the DLC coating in the unboxing. We scraped it with a screw and a titanium pry bar, and it didn't do anything to it. Next up, we have the new Vastid Akita, and this knife is badass, guys. I wish this thing was just a little bit bigger. I like it as it is, but we got to get away from these safe-ass sizes. I mean, it works good because of that choil, but I just want a little bit more blade, and this is plenty of edge to do anything I need to do, but it's a matter of want, right? It's not a matter of need. I want something bigger. I like a little bit bigger knives. We need an XL Akita on the double. But as far as the Akita itself goes, I really am enjoying this thing. It's been hard to put down. We have a stone-washed Bowie style blade. We have a cutout and front flipper for deployment, S35VN steel, nice large choil area here. We are looking at their Vanker lock, which is a button pivot based lock, and we are looking at aluminum handles here, deep carry clip, steel rollover. Screws are not recessed, but they're not protruding all the way either. Not quite sure why they did that the way they did. I have not had any issues getting this in or out of jeans or sweatpants, so not a huge complaint for me, but still kind of like, why not just surface mount them like they usually do? But hey, whatever. We have aluminum textured handles here and plenty of ways to open this thing up. It's extremely comfortable. It's not overly heavy, and you have that awesome Vanker lock to mess around with and fidget with. Not only is it fun and fidgety, but you have these massive steel liners in there that are using this button here to lock up, and it just gives you an extremely solid lockup in there. plenty of videos out there on what the lock looks like internally, but I have had 3 or 4 different Vanker locks now, and they are all extremely, extremely tough. Next up, we have one coming in from Concept, and this is their newest premium fixed blade called the Lucio, and the unboxing should be up for this as well. If you want a closer look at any of these knives, the unboxings should be up. Comes with a Taco Kydex sheath, which is really well done. We have a faux small tech lock here. The fit in and out is very good as far as retention goes. A little bit of work could be done as far as how much space they allow in here, because there is just a little bit of movement, but that does not affect the retention of the fixed blade. Great little ramp there to kick this thing out. We have a beautiful Harpoon drop point belt satin S35 VN blade. We have these heavily sculpted titanium handles here. Full tank construction, of course. We have a lanyard hole down here, and the grip that you are in is very, very comfortable on this knife. It is a good size. This would make a great EDC crossover knife, something you could easily pocket carry and also put on your belt, and you could take this into the outdoors, use it as a camp knife and various outdoor tasks as well because of that added size. And you have a full length handle here that you can get a substantial grip on. Now, if you have like 2XL hands, beefy, massive hands, you're going to start to fall off the butt end of this knife at some point. I wear an XL glove, and I have plenty of room to spread out on this handle. But if my hand was any bigger, I would start to trail off that butt end. But at a certain point, the handles can only get so big. That way, they are staying minimal for a pocket carry. So you have to kind of take the good with the bad on these smaller fixed blades. But not that this is small, but in consideration of fixed blades across the board, it is a little bit smaller. But in regards to EDC fixed blades, this is on the larger size, no question. But Concept really knocked it out of the park on this one. Couple of minor critiques I have on this fixed blade. You can check out the unboxing for that. But other than that, this thing has been really solid. Next up, we have one that just recently came in within the last week or so. This is the Rake D198. Now, this is a budget knife, around like 30 bucks, maybe even a little less. But I really like this, especially for people who are maybe just coming into the knife world or looking for their first knife or adding to maybe their collection, but they're not willing to jump too high in price just yet. Rake's a good company to go with for that, not to be confused with Reich. Very similar names, but and very good quality on both ends. The D198 here has this beautiful long drop point blade. We have a machine satin finish on it. 8CR, nothing to write home about, but very easy to maintain. Decent sharpening choil. This thing cuts really, really well. Full flat grind. We have some jimping up here on the spine. I love the size of this thing. There's nothing crazy special about the knife, but the way everything works together, it just becomes a solid knife. We have textured FRN. We have great access to the liner with a chamfer and jimping on it. The detent is as solid as I could ask for with that flipper. They include nice fine jimping on it as well. Works really good. We have this kind of encapsulated look with the backspacer and the handles kind of coming into one there. It really makes this very comfortable. We have a deep carry clip. It is recessed, but the screws are not. Don't know why companies do that. And we have the ability to put this on a left-hand option as well. But for a very inexpensive option, which there are lots of people out there looking for such things, this is a great one. Next up, we have the Artisan Cutlery Low, and this got sent to me, and it was by accident, and I'm not sure what the deal is with this knife. I don't know if this is a pre-production model or if they're actually selling these now. I like this knife. I love the design. It's S90V. It's a beautiful sheep's foot blade. We have a nice sharpening choil. We got some really nice titanium here that has micro milling. We have a nice little milled clip. Very retentive though, very tight and not a lot of room in there. So certain pants will definitely have issue with that, but it is left-hand friendly. Uh, Access to the lock bar could be better. No question about that. But my biggest issue with this knife is there's no distinct way to open this thing up. The best way that I've found to open this up, it looks like it was intended to be a top flipper, but there's no way to do it. Not with mine in particular. And I like how this kind of little nipple comes up, but it doesn't serve a purpose though. It would had this been raised up a little bit more. So the easiest way I've found to deploy this is right there on this corner. And that's the way that it works 9 out of 10 times. And it feels pretty good that way. But because it's so rounded there's times where I want to flip off the knife and I miss opening it. If this would have went into a prototype phase and just got even passed around to 2 people who knew anything at all, this could have been a badass little gent knife. But because of the front flipper failure here, I don't know about this knife. And maybe it could be just mine or whatever, or maybe I'm just having a breakdown with this knife, which I don't think is the case. I'll have to see if there's any info out there on this, because I haven't seen a single video or anything on this from anyone. And that's not saying much because I don't get to watch a lot of stuff these days, but I think this could be a great little knife. But where that front flipper, and I could even tolerate that lock bar because it's chamfered out on both sides internally there, and there's plenty of room to get in there and disengage it. It's where that front flipper is and where this kind of ends for me. It has so much potential, but it should have been revamped a little bit. This should have either been more squared off going up to that area, or it should have just come up and died off straight up in the air. Or they should have went with more of a top flipper here and brought this up even further back here. That way you could actually get on top of this thing and really bring it out. But if you try to top flip it, look what happens here. My finger runs right into the top of the knife. So you can't really get enough on it to do that. So it really pisses me off because this could have been an awesome knife. And that's where we're going to end this one here. Sorry to end it on such a bad note, but this knife has a ton of potential, and it sucks just to see it go to waste. You guys will have to let me know. What was your favorite knife from today's video? Was it the Low? Is it the Buckhorn? Is it the Akita? How about the Turtle Punk? Maybe it's the traditional Hydra here. Or we have the Momo and we have the Lucio fixed blade. You guys will have to let me know. I love hearing from you guys no matter what it is. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I always appreciate that, everyone. It helps push these videos out there to more people. If you're new to my channel here and you enjoy this type of content, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe because I release daily videos just like this. I'll put up a couple of new ones on your screen. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I love you all. Catch you on the next one.